swift in diving for its prey. But the peculiar structure of its body prevents it from making a perfect landing. During the nesting period, great numbers congregate on certain isolated islands. This island alone, more than 6,000 come annually. Some trick of nature, it appears that a perfectly good goose is forced to wear a long beak, sporting a fishnet. Soon these young will reach adulthood, and like their parents, will lift their heavy bodies from their perches, and after several rapid strokes of their wings, level off in an environment that they are fitted.
I don't care if you're losing lane. This week got late game. We went GG. And you need a carry. Guess what? It's gonna be yay. Would you? And all I ask of you, don't have to lose this. So shut the fuck up. And finally, I get hold out. I know that I rarely gank. I don't care if you're losing lane. We got late game, and even it feels GG. And you need a carry, guess what? It's gonna be a rally gank. Busy filling up my bank. I don't care if you're losing lane. 'Cause we got late game. Baby, when it feels GG. Need a carry. Guess what? Yeah. I don't think I'm too late for the daily logging reward. Can I see yesterday's daily login reward, or is it one per day? Oh, there's a tab for Alliance War now. I swear that was not actually there before. How is everyone? You're in the swamp. You heard the trees, they move on stream. I actually think that might be the case, that those sound alerts have gotten other people more than they've gotten me. How are you going? Be the deer. How are you? Do you think I could steal Trin Immortal's music video and use it somewhere in my channel? The letter U didn't open my inventory. Why not? I must have tabbed out or something. My keybones aren't working. I am... Oh, pardon me. I'm doing okay. We need some music. And since I'm sure I will probably annoy more people than not if I play 6 hours of Trin Sync It's Gotta Be Ye, we're gonna put something else on in the back. How would this combo? There go my hockey. 4 crown fortifying meals, bound but not to character. We could put them in the bank. 2 hours. What we got online, by the way? Tons of plans, planning on building a high-end 8K capable PC and doing game dev, which I think I told you about. I do believe you did tell me about the game dev stuff. Oh shit, speaking of game dev stuff, I kind of want to hit up oh no. All of these people are so high level and there's just me level 11. Who has to be at? Mather and Nutshell, is it? They have notes? Oh, what? Okay, this could be a liability, but... Hey, there's custom notes on guild members. All empty box. You are Raiden, Mila's second account, level 5. Master Crafter or motives up to 89 known except 43. Oh. I'm a weeb. Nice. Tank, healer, Master Crafter. Buy can provide newbies with training gear for free. Should we hit him up? Maybe we should ask him. Love Island contestant, aka Travis, changed ID. Some of these. I've been playing ESO since October 20. Only plays Nords. Only got my main crafter at CP+. Don't ever ask me to craft anything. Some of these are good. Other ones I feel a little awkward reading. Na'a Ja'a, also DE on pseudo heal, as well as pseudo tank. Everyone is changing. Very last word. Got socially awkward turtle. I'm a fluffy unicorn and then an emote. Okay. But what's curious is it shows action, rank, player name and location, but it doesn't and it shows, okay, it shows what role you're currently playing. It doesn't show anything about the character besides role and affiliation. We of them all. Lost online 11 hours ago. Ah! Jeez, that scared me! I freaked out. I thought something popped up on my computer. That's terrifying. Oh my word. 25 kilogram of crazy and a 5 kilogram bag. Free skooma. May throw nutshells at you, approach with care. How do I get my own thing? Edit note. Full board, no brain. I'm happy with it. Right, so minor update. I did kind of log in off stream the other day and we're back here at the crafting station. I'm going to do a little bit more questing today, but I kind of ended up logging in to do a bit of level grinding. I wanted to hit level 10. Milo wants, or Dark Raiden wants to get us doing some public, I think daily dungeons is what we're doing for leveling, which would be good. Means I can finally actually use some of these experience scrolls I have. Crown experience scroll here is character bound, lasts for 2 hours. These character bound fortifying mules would be good too. This takes up a whole extra slot, and if because they're different numbers. Are they? They're not different numbers. Why don't they stack? Oh, because this one's character bound. This one is just bound. I could put these regular bound ones into my bank and just use the character bound stuff. Same with this, the Tri Restoration Potion. I can't put them anywhere, and they don't sell for money. I'm basically forced to either waste them or use them, and I'm choosing to hold on to them until they're useful. The only problem I have, and this could be a UI problem entirely, but so usually when you play the Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim, doesn't matter which one, you get a hotkey bar. You may notice my hotkey bar is actually abilities. As far as I know, I cannot put items on my hotkey bar. There is no way to have a 4 ability set and then an extra item. I don't know what this one's for though. This slot over here that doesn't seem to have a key binding could be a passive. Probably is a passive. But why I need to change that Y. What is that? We've got Q for the ultimate. Y probably does need to be changed. Point being, command pet for Y. Oh, that can stay on Y. That doesn't need to be used in a rush. Quick slot item. That, okay. That I need. Quick slot item. Is that my, do I have a what's T bound to? Primary bind for cycle focus quest. Honestly, yeah, cycling a quest is the most pointless thing ever. Just press J, click the one you want, otherwise you end up cycling through 15 quests just to go back to the one you wanted. Okay. So, now that that's up, the letter T will be my next slot. That is quite literally right. Oh, allies, mementos, emotes, quick slot. Oh. How do I quick slot an item? No? I thought clicking and dragging would be it. I don't want to press E because that'll automatically use one instantly. You know what? Let's try it. What can we waste that we have a ton of? Hold E. That did not work. So, how do I put it in my quick slot? Send insight into the game. Let me have a quick look before we get too invested into it. Marker's red. Since you didn't put it into the chat, I would just not read it, assuming you want some secrecy on the project. Nice. That actually sounds like a decent premise. Oh, and how is it? Okay. You should be. Right, okay. That's just the catalog not updated properly. Rank. I wish there was a way to not have that happen. Getting distracted talking about these things no one can see. Right, so ooh, okay, quick slots. See, okay. So up would be my heal everything. We have the fortifying meal. I'm gonna put on the left. Fish stick. Magic max stamina. We can only have one of these at a time, can't we? Max health, health recovery. Maybe I put the crown fortifying meal on the bottom. We go for... do we have any mana recovery over time? We have max magicka. So it's max recovery, and then we're gonna have 2 down the bottom. Fortifying meal and the tri-restoration potion. Roguish escape drow. Restore. Honestly, not terrible. Put it down here. And I guess. What do we have? Tincture of health. The game. You alive? Tincture of health. What do we have? 7. Stop first. It's fine. Not Loadable items, loadable quests. Non-combat pets. Tools, mementos, allies. Nice. Now, we've got the letter T. We'll bring up that menu. Now, the thing I would like to know is that the circle didn't change when we changed category. Game having a moment. Do we need a relog because I've been alt-tabbing? So, frames, we might have to relog because I've been alt-tabbing. Look at this. What is that? Game? What? Game is not loading textures properly. I might have to relog already. Audio's breaking, game's breaking, everything is breaking. Am I disconnecting as well? Normally only post that when I disconnect. What's going on? I seem to be fine. Give me a very quick second. Things fix. I'll reboot the client. A balance? I seem to be having more and more issues streaming lately. Could be cursed. So, what was that noise? Reason why I'm going to build an 8... Oh, you mean 8K capable, not 8 grand. Do you mean like a... What would 8K be? Even like measuring 6 digits of resolution at that point. I first read 8K, I just thought you meant that you were building a computer for 8 grand. Now that I know you mean resolution, I don't think you could build an 8K. Maybe you could build an 8K computer for 8K. Entirely depends, I suppose, on what the back end of your operating system is and how you integrate software and hardware. Technically, purely technically, you could run an old ancient computer. Text-based operating system. I do actually wonder now, do you think I mean, aside from, hey, the textures are here. Look, they're not brown anymore. They're actually there. Look at that. But do you think if you got an Intel Pentium 4, like a late generation Intel Pentium, and if you paired, oh my lord. Audio in this game stopping and stuttering is abysmal. I don't know why that's the case. There's nothing in the settings that controls audio flow either, as far as I'm aware. Background. Just sound on or off. Music volume on or off. Oh well, we'll just live with. Unfallen Bay will always be stuttery, apparently. But I am curious whether a late-gen Intel Pentium 4, and I suppose you'd have the 980 NVIDIA GPU of the time. Was it? No, it was the 9080, wasn't it, back then? They had an extra 0. But I do wonder if you had a computer that old from the early 2000s era of hardware, and you did genuinely run a text-based operating system like DOS or MS-DOS if you prefer it. I'm curious whether or not you could actually somehow get it to pull an 8K resolution. Because without the graphical user interface, you're not using any VRAM. Even those cards that only had half a gigabyte of VRAM. It would have to come down to pure pixel crunching, which would all be in the megahertz of the card. It would be the card's processing speed. But because it's not processing anything other than raw pixels, I do wonder if you could do it without the computer melting. I feel like you can, right? NVIDIA's had custom resolution NVIDIA's had custom resolution capabilities for a while in their control panel. It would have to be possible. I just want to know how well it runs. Or if it doesn't. Why not AMD? I don't know if mid-early 2000s AMD control panels had that custom resolution feature. Not to mention, mid to early 2000s AMD chips had a nasty habit of catching on fire back then, especially when put under stress. I will concede that was much more common in the CPU era side of things, but
Touch me again and I'll have you in irons.
I used to know a guy who was super pro AMD back actually in like 2000 and would have been like 2008, but his computer was a little old. And he unironically had to replace it because it caught back on fire. It was quite an interesting story that was the whole reason I even found out that was a thing. PC is going to be 15k plus. You're spending that much money and getting a Core i9? I mean, suppose it's still going to be, you know, an okay CPU, but I do also laugh the fact that AMD sniped the engineer that made the Core i series, and then their response to competing with that same engineer was just to go, well, maybe if we add more cores and more threads, it'll work better, guys. Maybe if we do nothing on the technology end or the chipset end, and we just make the number more, then it'll be better. Yeah. That one guy apparently just does the entire chipset industry, and whoever has him at the time is winning the chipset war. Is that the right word? At the very least, CPU will probably be the better way to go, and it's much more specific to what his industry seems to be. Back then it was a gorilla. People have made 8K resolution stuff already? Probably. I wish they'd stop making you download that crap, honestly. I think 1080p textures should be optional. It should all be optional. You should tick the box you want for the size of texture pack you want. And you should have the ability for 480p texture pack, 1080p texture pack. Well, I'll even say you can fit a 720 in there in the middle, but I don't think, you know, like bottom of the barrel, average gameplay quality, and then have all the, like, the fancy crap over somewhere else. Don't all these games that are like hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes because they have uncompressed textures and audio files. It just means you're going to be uninstalled if I don't play you in a month. Intel RTX all the way to Ryzen and AMD can pass them for gaming quality? I think they did like a year ago. They've had the engineer for a while now. It's half the reason Intel has spent the last half a decade panicking. It's why the i9 exists. That one screwed us. Are you kidding me? Again? Chicken breast? Okay, so I did find out chicken breast can be harvested from Heron, which is on the coastline. That's not terrible. I can get another crafter. Why am I so stuttery? Why am I so stuttery? What's going on? We'll head inside and see if it's less stuttery. But I'm watching on the phone. This is garbage. I'm gonna have to restart all over again. Running any better? Still garbage. Squiggle check. Yeah, like 40 FPS.
Oh, yeah.
Ah! Okay, I may have found it. I may have figured it out. Steam overlay, had the friends list open. I wish that would not open by default. You have like a little tiny square with 4 friends in it. That's fine. I don't need the silly little friends. What else do we have? It'll be fine. Okay, that should run a little better now. Google check. Need an iron sword, curious, and greaves. Game dev will have 8K, 6K, 4K, NADB 720 and 4K. I mean, yeah, resolution is one thing. I just want textures to be optional. Same with uncompressed audio. Games with uncompressed audio, that Titanfall PR garbage they tried to pull, like all that shit is WAV so that people on Intel Pentium 4s can play the game. No, make it an optional download. Make the people with the Intel Pentium 4s opt into your garbage instead of distributing shit to everyone. I genuinely did not like it. Stuff that does that is terrible. Ubisoft. Awkwardly, Ubisoft seemed to be leading the charge on this with optional download packs with textures, resolutions, and all that sort of stuff. If you want the shitty looking Rainbow Siege, then you just download the game. If you want the good looking Rainbow Siege, you download the extra download pack, the DLC listing on Steam that says high resolution textures. It's fine. It means my game for Rainbow Six Siege is under 20 gigabytes. But it's phenomenal how much increasing the size of textures absolutely floors the size of a game when you're actually dealing with downloads, especially hard drive capacity. I have quite an excessive amount of hard drive space, but if your game is over 20 gigabytes, it better be something I'm playing often or I'm just going to uninstall it and forget I have it. Real estate on the hard drive is one of my biggest contentions I have. I'm gonna need more yeast too. I don't know where to get a steady supply of yeast. We've done... We'll have a good blacksmith, clothier, woodworker. Provision is the last one. We're gonna need yeast and heron, poultry. I can go get poultry. Yeast is the one that's kind of a crapshoot for me. Oh, that's so much better now. I look down on my phone. Steam friends list using 5 to 10% CPU. Kind of feels the game capture for some reason. It's not like the game's... Just need like a bare minimum of looks okay, and then I'm happy. Also, if I remember correctly, doesn't Ember actually approve of theft? Should test that. Ember did not approve nor disapprove of that theft. I know she disapproves of being caught, and she said stuff like, what was the thing she said? Oh, to be fair, I did murder a chicken when she said that. Something like, if you're gonna be sneaky, if you're gonna do something bad, at least don't get caught, was what she said, so... We'll try. I feel like I'm gonna have to just resort to theft to find wheat, though. There's no way I'm ever gonna find wheat. Is it wheat? No, I just found wheat. What do I need? Yeast. I need yeast in order to make the bog iron ale. And I need heron for the poultry to make the chicken breast. Then I can turn in my crafting ribs. I don't know if there's higher level crafting ribs, but these ones don't pay out a whole lot of XP. I also think I've seen crafting writs in the shop? Guild shop. You found weed? Some wheat. Oh, that's... Hopefully, we'll find wheat. I need to find some heron out here before I'm actually gonna get... Ooh. Like, you imagine, was it Titanfall 1 or Titanfall 2 that had the terrible PR of you download everything we say you will? I want the axe. Curious. I want the letter, but you can't pick it up. Like, if they just said... It's a win-win situation. I do not understand. They released like a PR thing saying that the game is so massive because we have uncompressed audio and textures. It's like bitmap textures and WAV 32, or was it 16-bit signed WAV and uncompressed bitmap textures. Because, and their reasoning was so that people on Pentium 4 can play the game without issue, so they don't have to deal with high CPU load for dealing with compression. But if you're catering to a person who can install 140 gigabytes of textures and audio, pretty sure you're not dealing with the audience that are running Pentium 4s.
You going to enchant something with that? Can I watch?
But again, it's like a win-win scenario. If they make it an optional download, they still get to say, hey, look at us, we're being cool. And then also don't screw the entire audience of their game over by bloating the files up to like 10 times what they should be. Now you have games like, oh, Heron, hello, do you have poultry? No. Now you have games like, what was that, one of the Call of Duties? Something like 200 plus gigabytes. And I know people who have straight up just not installed the new Call of Duty, not bought it even, because it's so big of a game file that they can't justify ever putting it on. Hey! Hey, Dark Rodent, welcome in. I am still terrible at keeping focused on leveling. I'm trying... I found a reliable source of poultry. I've actually spent maybe 100 hours in this character not knowing where to get poultry. I finally found out there's heron. Heron live in the water and give poultry. I won't lie. There's 2 chicken here in Gonfalon Bay that I've kind of been squaring off and killing just for the poultry. There's 2 chicken near the front gate. You just sort of sneakily zap them with your staff and then you grab the meat and run away. They respawn, it's okay, but I'm so glad I finally have a legal way to get chicken meat. Because this provisioner writ up here has been driving me insane. I've got it 3 times now. It's bog iron ale and chicken breast, and I cannot for the life of me find a reliable... I wasn't able to find a reliable source of those ingredients before. I'm so glad I found the heron on the beach right now. How are you going, Raiden? How's your morning been? Suppose it would be morning over there, actually. Textures will be realistic as possible for non-realistic reach resolution. That's the thing with the resolutions. Can't be separated from the game because it's designated so just changing the game download, which makes it easier for everyone. Yeah, I mean, you just click the one you want, or all of them. Like, if people want all of them, there's nothing stopping them from downloading all of the resolutions and changing them on the fly. Again, to me, it is a complete positive in every aspect of the phrase. Now I need yeast. Do you think the grocer in here, he's a green grocer only, which annoys me. He only sells vegetables, but do you think he has yeast? Oh, it's 1 PM. That's actually a little later than I thought. Actually, no. You'd be right, because this isn't at 1 PM London time. No. 12. 12:15. 12:13. There's a way to say that isn't awkward. I have 7 player mail total, or two unread. Oh my lord. I do apologize. I use the screen blur to sort of block out any sensitive messages. I had someone send me a Discord link the other day, and I had to quickly turn on the blur. We didn't have the Discord link showing publicly. But unfortunately, the blur is tied to the... Now, okay, here's what I did wrong the other day. E, take attachments. R, return to sender. Those two keys are very close to each other. But thank you. Very much appreciated. I never have to go hunting heron again. The amount of stuff you just have in supply is sometimes baffling. Alright, now we need... Who sells... Okay, the chef sells complete meals, so you're the grocer. I don't think
sit
he
next to the
sells is it yeast we need? No, just vegetables. It annoys me to no end he doesn't sell meat or any of the non-vegetable based plants. Because it's like one of those things you're never going to find in a guild store. No one's selling wheat. And without me just going around stealing from cupboards and pantries and barrels, this is the only guy in Gonfalon Bay, as far as I'm aware, who has the market of a grocer. And sure, I can crouch in this corner and sneak stuff out of his wheat bag there, but it's so much effort for so little payoff, considering it's an RNG loot system at that point. Thank you very much. I won't lie, that one is actually greatly appreciated. This is the 3rd time I've had to contend with... Where's my... Fuck you, mail. You've played the game for 7 years, which is fair. I suppose at some point you're just gonna have so much you don't know what to do with. Oh, I also found out. Finally found the guy right here. I thought this lady sold you the materials like the moonstone, tin and all that sort of stuff. But this guy's is the one that sells all those mats. So maybe it's the same thing over here. You've got the chef. She doesn't sell anything. He's only the grocer. And then you've got the herbalist and the enchanter. The enchanter's another annoying one, because if you look at his store here in Gonfalon Bay, he only has the mats for the cubes. He does not sell anything but the cubes. So if you want the circles or the triangles, you have to either get them naturally or go somewhere else. As much as I do love the High Isle, like visually it's quite stunning to be in the Colobian Highlands, but it sucks if you're getting into crafting and trying to use these guys as a means to actually level. Because enchanting is really slow too. Like I'm level 7 enchanting and that took me a long time to get. I hit level 6 yesterday and I burnt all of my level 2 aspect potency runes immediately. Got to level 7. But that's been it. You know, like I burnt all of my level 2 potency improvement and got 1 level. It's a really slow skill to learn unless you're just min-max collecting them. If I could dump 10k into buying like 100 of each rune, buy the cheapest, 100 of each of the cheapest, you'd get 6 levels out of that. You'd get to your level 10 that you need, level 15 that you need in order to get your potency 3, and you'd be set to actually make some okay stuff you want to use. And I suppose at this level, there's nothing wrong with, like I'm making stuff that's like 2k damage, fire, add 700 health to an item. It's not bad numbers, but it's the kind of stuff where I find better numbers just RNG loot drops. If you find blank loot that's good stats, then yeah, enchanting it's a win-win, but... Oh, while you're here, Dark Road, what is inspiration? I will receive 1k inspiration and Clothier's satchel, right? That's loot. But what is inspiration? I've never figured out what it does. You get 1k inspiration for every single one of these you do. And I've never seen it actually apply anywhere. I got a garment. Hang on. I wonder it's taking so long to scroll. Pink. Oh. Let's do one of these. You repair thing. Is that what it was? Yeah, 2 petty repair. I imagine those... Did I walk in a circle? No, there's the door. I imagine those repair kits probably come. Ooh. Lag on the neck hurts sometimes. Inspiration is your XP in crafting. Right, okay. I did actually wonder about that. So if inspiration does... So crafting, I guess then I can say definitively, crafting doesn't level your character, only your crafting skill. Because I have been wondering about it. Oh, thank you so much. That's so much. I'm set now. I can do those crafting mats forever? Oh my lord. God. You are actually bankrolling my character. It is... It's very much appreciated, honestly. I will admit, I burnt through the first lot upgrading my inventory space, but it's so nice having max leveled inventory in this game. Now, I have to craft them for the RIP to count, so I am not burning through all of those yeast. Never click max and craft. I will murder my... It would be great. Honestly, it would be great for XP. The mail wasn't empty. No, gold just shows up in a different spot. Which I definitely got to do. Thank you very much. I mean, should I burn 100? Should we burn 99 bog iron ale and 99 chicken? Oh, that used one up actually for that other recipe. You burn 98. How much XP do we get for 98 bog iron ale? It's just a little science experiment. We still have 300 left. I kind of don't want to do it, but at the same time, let's with 300 is a ton, right? If I do, that's 300 days. That's a whole year of provisioning writs if I get the same mission every day. 300 is a ton. Let's find out what XP we get for 98 bog iron ale. 4 levels, level 20. Wow. Alright. So we don't have an odd amount of chicken breast, we'll even them out. Holy cow. 100 chicken breast. I guess I'm eating a lot of chicken breast for the rest of this character's life. Really? I know chicken breast is level 1, but that's a ton more XP for the Bog Iron Ale. It makes sense. 5 times the level, 4 times the XP, almost. If not even more. That's insane. Still. That was way less XP for the chicken breast than I was hoping. Nice little boost to my crafting rate, my crafting skill. Good morning, John. Welcome in. How is everyone doing today? It is very much appreciated, Raiden. I absolutely... There was a sentence there. I do enjoy the time I've had with this game, I really do. I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to Elder Scrolls though, and I will nitpick, but it's been an absolute blast actually getting into... I am an absolute sucker when it comes to crafting skills. If you haven't noticed, I got to level 16 just grinding out writs and everything else. The only stuff I feel is a bit of a gamble is the alchemy and enchanting I've not taken just out of fear of having a quest permanent. I mean, I say out of fear of having a quest permanently stuck in my quest log, but I could abandon it if it's a bad recipe. Alright, now we were going to go finish off a bit more of the High Isle questline today. Welcome in, Science Chan. Just finished with teaching, gonna have lunch. Doing great, how's the stream? I've not been going too long. I did have a little bit of technical difficulties earlier today. Hopefully that's sorted out. I got my phone up just to check the stream quality and it seems like it's... Oh, you know what we should do? What? Do. My brain said something else and I actually don't know what it tried. What we should do, before we get too carried away, we should make sure we've actually got all these materials put in the bank. Let's get out of bed, 1 PM. Streaming till... I saw that actually. You were up super late. Sometimes I hate my internet. I want to make a joke. I don't know if it'll land, but you know how some people... some people have resting bitch face. I feel like I have resting bitch voice. But I really do. Listening back to my VOD, I feel like nails down a chalkboard. I cannot stand it. I'm getting more used to hearing my own voice. It drives me up the wall hearing my inflection in my voice sometimes because I seem to over-inflect and I feel like that's what people mean. Rather, I asked my friends when I started out streaming months and months ago.
Someone tried to deposit a goat with us.
I asked my friends what they thought if I was overacting when I streamed, and they said and I quote, "I sound like I have customer support voice." I hate that. But I'll live with it. I'm getting used to it. I just need to start talking normally. If I talk normally, I'll be fine, but I feel like I overact a little. With the inflections and stuff I have in my voice when I watch the VODs back, I don't hear them at the time. They drive me insane. Yeah, 4 AM to 1 PM isn't a bad sleep. 9 hours, isn't it? Quick math in my head. I had to think. Right. We have enough space. Where is my map? We'll just put it all in the bank. Your ties to the Bird Empire. Nice. Thank you for the tie to the Bird Empire, B. Can you check your enchanting level? I can tell you it's a level 7. But I'll bring it up in a second. Skills. No, I changed it around. This is now my craft. Level 7. Need quite an absurd amount of XP. But I finally got to the point where I can use the blue tier. Oh my lord, are you just... How much have you sent me? I mean, other people need things too. I feel bad. I don't know why I feel bad, but it's a bit much to take in. Not that I'm unappreciative, it's a lot. Oh my word, truly superior Glyph of Shock. Minimum level is 160 symbol, and I do not know what that symbol is. I also, because I'm so low level, does my number cap out? I imagine this does a bit more than 2,000 damage on your account. Do I deconstruct them? A little bit of an explanation, B. Pay your tie to the Bird Empire is just lurking tax, effectively. It does nothing. I used to have a sound effect, which was from Tomb Raider 1, the 1996 Tomb Raider 1, which just had Lara Croft saying, nice. I do my best to recreate the sound alert, because I don't have my phone plugged in as a soundboard anymore, but... Oh... Don't press R, press E. Alright. More. Holy cow. No decon. Should be plenty. Holy cow. And then I have to manually put levels into... there's... provisioning aspect or something. Holy cow, how many do you have? Let's go find out. Honestly, it's amazing. Just dopamine of watching the number go up so quickly out of nowhere is something. I get the same thing, honestly, when I play Final Fantasy XIV. When I did play Final Fantasy XIV, the crafting in that game is very quick. If you want to get a good item out of it, it takes a little while, but if you want to just min-max XP grind your crafting, it has a bulk craft option, and you just watch the number go up. You get a lot of XP per craft in Final Fantasy XIV. 38, worth $10 each. Let's... I mean... Get rid of that one. Level 7. Quite an absurd amount of XP needed. Let's find out. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh my lord. All the way. We got 11 levels.
Don't drink and say, drink only water and milk. Else bones will be weak.
I should have access
Like
to another one of
Skyrim.
these, right?
Water is health is
Why do I not have potency improvement 4
water,
yet?
drink, water, drink, water, drink, water,
Potency
bit.
improvement
Drink,
2.
water, drink,
Wait.
water, drink, water,
Upgrade for
bit.
1 skill point. Does that
water,
cost
drink,
a
water,
skill
drink,
point? I thought it was
water, bit.
passive.
Drink, water, drink, water, drink,
Skill
water,
points are
bit.
gonna drag me down, honestly. I do kind of want to go back to a destruction staff for a little bit.
By the way,
My lord.
do you happen to know what the fine is here in Cyrodiil for...
Criminal scum.
Just asking.
Oh my lord. Just min-maxing my character. I get you have so many, it just feels weird. I feel like I'm doing something illegal. I don't know why. for the hydrate, Octo, and the calorate as well. The raisins out. Right. Clear up this inbox a little bit. There's nothing I'm missing. Oh my word. One's empty. $21 glyph absorbs stamina. I do have to wonder if the numbers are lower. Because, I mean, I can't make a glyph that's that level. But I can make a glyph that has those numbers. Deal 1754 physical damage and restore 327 stamina. Seems like that's in my grasp of skill. So I don't know if there's other level caps that apply to the numbers in these enchantments. I've noticed the same thing actually. When you're crafting, a good example actually, if I go here to the blacksmith table. If I make an axe, I am level 11. Yes. So here's the thing I noticed. If I make a level 10 axe, that's 1037. If I make a level 12 axe, it goes up a little bit more because I'm level 11. Past that point, it makes no difference in the damage output. I do not know if making higher level gear wastes the potential of the materials because you've made it too early. When I get to level 12, I imagine that'll be something closer to 1090. But that's the thing I don't actually know. Whether or not I can make this now and get to level 12 later, and this number could be higher. I don't actually... Didn't I make something with the intent of testing that? I should also start up some research if I have any. In the blacksmith. Oh my word! That is a absolute ton of messages. There's just more. Oh my word. I will just say this is not necessary. I do appreciate it, but it is entirely not necessary in the slightest. If there is gonna be a character, this one is the one that speedrunning would be the one I'd like to do it on, because this... I set up Njasa here as the character I wanted to min-max and try and get in... Oh, my inventory is full. Really? These don't stack? Do they really not stack? Why do they not stack? Bizarre. I swear they stack. What? Interesting. You think they stack if I put them in the bank? Maybe we'll go deposit them all. I really do appreciate it, but it isn't necessary. I'm happy to play the game through a little bit. I say that. I am still going to have to level up my Nightblade. And that... I was going to be streaming an entirely different character, actually. I went the wrong way to the bank. But I don't mind doing a little bit of questing on my character I want. Can you not put them in the bank? Not to keep, just to go deconstruct them later, but I can't. I'm at max inventory space because they're not stacking. So if I can stack them in the bank, my thought is to just put them all in the bank. Well, if it doesn't work, then we'll just deconstruct what we have.
I took this job to see what people...
Now let's see. Weird consumables. This one. Do they stack? No, they do not stack. Alright, let's go decon them all. I mean, we could put like 20 more in the bank just to get a few more out of the mail. But... that area over there next to the portal always lags my system out. I get audio glitches over there, and I think it's just because so many people have so many flashy bright mounts and pets that go through the area. Right. Oh, 51. Holy cow. That is actually... should I? I mean, I could probably make something better than that now, anyway. I'm high enough level, I could probably get to 300 health recovery, maybe 200. What? I'm too many in my inventory. That's silly. No, that's silly. If I'm consuming 51 items, I should have more than enough space. That is silly. I need at least 3 spaces. I guess, alright. At the risk of wasting a little bit of time, I guess we're going back and putting some in the bank. Oops. I do think that is a little silly though. Valheim had the same thing, where you couldn't... if you had 1 soup in your inventory, you could make 9 more soup for a full stack, but it would read no empty inventory space. And until recently, that meant you couldn't craft the other 9. Now it at least lets you craft the other 9.
When it's slow around here.
Let's... we'll scrap it. We'll scrap my health recovery thing. I wasn't able to use it anyway. And then we'll go... you can deconstruct from the bank, can't you? Uh-oh. Why is OBS complaining? OBS went red. I don't like that. My lord. Too many things. 51, 52. Good lord. Holy cow. Up to level 31. That's not... we had 51 last time. How much space do we have? Oh, a little bit. Uh-oh. That was quick. I don't want to have to go back to the bank, please. My own fault. Can I do it the other way around then? Can I get rid of... 2 of those. No. Inventory is full. The crafting bag really does seem super useful in these situations. Hey, Rose. Welcome in. Oh, lordy. BS was unhappy a while ago. I'm gonna keep an eye on whether it's being problematic. Dropped 200 frames out of nowhere. Super early into the stream, which I don't like.
I took this job to see.
I need 3 slots available. We don't need to dump all of them in here. It's that many.
One more and I'll be dancing.
Why does OBS do this to me? It'll run fine for 9 hours and then throw a hissy fit. Or like today, where it ran fine for an hour and then throw a hissy fit. I think I just need a better computer. At the very least. If I get a better computer and it still bumps frames all the time for no reason, at least I'll be able to blame the program. Genuinely heartfelt. What? T extract all? Why does R not extract? It's insane. That is so much faster than my previous method of making like 5 and scrapping 5. Oh my lord. Just sent a mail to Ginger and Valentine's with a bounce in the subject and they will bounce it. Oh, send a mail to Ginger or Sin Valentine. Bounce in the subject and bounce. What is bouncing? Is that just a means to get mail to someone else? And in the subject and they will bounce it. I'm not familiar with the term, sorry. That one going over my head a little bit. Sure. Accidentally. Right. How many more? 45! Woo! That is so sad. I thought potency was passive. But apparently it needs skill points now. If you need space... Oh! If you need space and you have extra bank space in your mailbox. So they send it back and... Yeah, I get that. They send it back. It sits in my mail. And until I take it out of the mail, it stays there. That's actually a neat thing. Alright. I still can't do anything with these because I need to put points into them. Bad days. I can at least burn through. If I get rid of these single items, I get 2 slots in the bank back. And let's find out. It says it'll be 2,000 flame damage. Let's find out. Is it actually 2,000? Yes. Well, that was quite an adventure in, well, in crafting XP. Oh, we got flax. It's a lot of that sort of stuff I can't. Light armor level 16 to 24. Alright, well we should go put all of this other stuff back. We do not have any crafting missions. Thank you very much for the help, Raiden. It's genuinely appreciated. It's just weird. It's a new thing for me. I've never played an MMO where I've had an active group of people playing the game at the same time. I normally join after all the fun's had and people never log on. This is interesting. I do apologize. I am going to open up my bank and I'm going to reboot OBS. Because it is throwing a hissy fit and I don't know why. It shouldn't be too long. I will be back in a second. Quick break. Maybe stretch my legs while I'm gone. Oh. As may as well be speaking French, will I understand in this game? I sometimes feel like I'm in the same boat, Royals. And I hope you enjoy your day, Raiden. I do appreciate you coming in and saying hi. And I am level 10 now, so I can finally, you know, at least be moral support. I've not done or really explored a whole lot of the daily stuff. I know I got access to daily quests. There's daily group quests, there's daily quests, and there's another one. I think it's like daily solo, daily group. And there's a third one, I forgot what it was. Pardon me. But got access to those at level 8. But I've not done a whole lot of anything in regards to dailies, except for the crafting writs. Chicken breast, we might as well keep it. Level 1. We'll put it on the wheel. Hang on. Can't do that in the bank. Lots. Do we have chicken breast on the wheel? What does chicken breast do? Max health. Easy. 100 chicken breast. So, I'm actually going to run off to the bathroom. I'm going to reboot OBS. And with luck, it'll start behaving. So I'll see everyone in a minute. And once again, my audio. We're just gonna go to this soundtrack instead, I think. What is making that horrid noise? Amber, do you mind? Do you have to do that? Bad enough, we've got some dwarven mechanism making a wheezing noise somewhere in here. No. Awkwardly, I didn't actually go to the restroom or do anything that I meant to do. So, give me like 2 more minutes. I'm gonna go take a quick break, an actual break. Now that I've got OBS back up and running, hopefully better. And then we'll head over to... There's a manor. What manor are we heading to? Okay, people of import. Steadfast. We're going to see Lord Bacaro at Steadfast Manor and see if we can't do a little bit more about the missing nobles in High Isle. Till then, I should only be a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
During the nesting season, the parents are busy providing food. A brood usually consists of 3 or 4 young. Feathers appear as it grows older, but the brightly colored feathers do not appear until the 2nd year. The parent birds often bring rabbits or squirrels to the nest. But when food is scarce, they may attack other birds.
Alrighty. I don't actually know how much time after all of that. I know today is Deep Rock Day, and I don't know when that's happening. Heck? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 hour from now. We have an hour. Let's see what damage we can do in that time. Always this area with an audio break. Steadfast manner. But, I mean, that was, I think Valley said he was going to be ready in an hour. I suppose if anyone else comes online before then, we'll fine and good as well. We go. Where are we? Oh, the Lord Bacaro of Alaris. Where is it?
Never going to be finished. I want to help, Lady Arabelle, but I'm concerned for the safety of my retainers.
My associate might be able to help in that regard, Lord Bacaro.
Lady Arabelle asks about the nobility, while 2 of my retainers are missing. The Society of the Steadfast will do whatever is necessary to keep its people safe. She mentioned the Ascendant Order might be involved. Do you think that's possible?
Seems very likely, at least.
Yes, I understand that you and Lady Arabelle have tangled with these brigands before. They claim to be knights, but they have no honor.
Honor crest.
Will you do as Lady Arabelle suggested and look for my retainers? I would consider it a personal favor.
Retainers like...
I sent Grenier and Denise to retrieve a shipment from the Navir docks, but I expected them back ages ago. They were traveling the road to the south. I just pray no evil befell them. The supplies we can lose, but good people are irreplaceable.
Find them, I suppose. It'd be
Thank
nice
you,
if
my
you...
friend. I'll confer
Why
with
are we
Lady
here,
Arabelle
actually?
while we
Wait.
await your return.
Is it because
I'll
he
tell her
knows?
everything I know about the nobility of High Isle, if she really thinks that will help.
Yeah, wait,
I
he
knew
just
peace
knows the
would be
nobility.
hard to achieve.
It's information in exchange of me
never
going on a
expected
fetch
a war.
quest for people. Here we go. This guy, Arabil Vules. And we also have Menda Eliel.
I was told they weren't taking new patients, not until they figured out what's going on. Still, welcome to Steadfast Manor. I'd offer a tour, but I don't quite feel up to it. Haven't slept in days. I can barely stand up straight.
I'm investigating whatever's wrong with you.
Affliction? A good word for it. I can feel it wearing away at my mind. After days without sleep, my thoughts are cloudy. I'm a shell of myself. Menda Rosalind's tonics help some. She knows what she's doing. Unlike some here.
Probably referring to the guy out front.
Master Healer Verlaine only manages the symptoms. He sedates us or just offers comforting words, but he won't seek out the root cause. Rosalind studied this affliction. She believes it's a curse of the humors, but she needs more research.
So the clip of killing Niag naked? It was quite a spectacle seeing you running in just your undies. Briefs, boxes. It is always amusing because I know you have the custom character loaded in, but it is no end of amusement to me to just see you running around the house or out in the wild with nothing on. Accidental naked Valheim run. Alrighty. So, there's a couple of lines of dialogue that unfortunately were not... They are technically in the last VOD. Right at the end, after I raided out, I went to Steadfast Manor and talked to a couple of... One of them explained some of the symptoms themselves, and we might get more of that in a second. But I do have an inclination, whatever is afflicting these people sounds like something... It just sounds like they're describing her Miasmora, Mora, or something about her plane of oblivion. Yeah. I remember I was in Dark Raiden stream actually. I basically packed it in for the night, and I remember her saying you'd killed Bone Mass, so was it somewhere up in the mountains? You lost the permadeath run? Oh, was that the same? Was that the same thing? You had the avatar enabled and didn't realize you were naked? There's no reason why you would have been naked, though. On a permadeath, really? I'll have to, I'll see if I can find the clip or search through the VOD, because you're always so thorough in everything you do. It's quite fascinating to watch, actually. There's a method to everything and all has like schedules. It's really, really fascinating. Coming from my point of view, where I'll spend 70 days gardening and then realize I haven't fought Ikathir yet. So it's very fascinating from my point of view of chaotic abstinence from playing the game. Seeing such a methodical attempt, yeah. It was a really decent amount of progress, yeah. How far through were you? You were up to 28 last time I saw the stream. Then you came back on late last, would have been early in the morning, I suppose. Day 30. 31 or so, wouldn't it? Considering the progress you made, though, in 31 days, I really actually think it's definitely doable. For a permadeath run, I don't know how thorough you want to be for Yagluth. Given the biggest problem we had in the reverse boss run seemed to be the mobs that spawned in. Chris died to the meteor shower getting stun-locked and trapped in his arms. And I think that was the only death we had directly to Yagluth. I might have got taken up by the meteorites myself, actually. My sentiment being that if we can fight Yagluth reasonably competently in silver armor, you know, the idea of a permadeath prepping within 70 days, even if you're going all the way to black metal armor, padded armor, it seems quite doable considering the progress you made in 30. What are we doing in the game? I got distracted. Just reading chat. Locked a troll with armor off though. That is a tragic way to go after all said and done. It's a very tragic way for it to end. Tell me about the Mender.
We're not close, but I respect her intellect. With her knowledge of alchemy, she could do anything. She chooses to comfort and heal people. Aiding the weak isn't a choice I would make. But now that I'm in need, I see the virtue of it.
Someone behind the manor? One inside the manor. I suppose that's the thing about Valheim, though. It can all end in an instant if anything goes awry. All it takes is a slight miscalculation in max health and a Deathsquito can stagger you, or a Lox can stagger you. Once you get staggered, you might actually be out of luck anyway. I think Red Fairy is often said it's a brutal game, and I think she is right. It's very unforgiving if you miscalculate or under-prepare. It's such a weird flip. In an instant, if you over-prepare, it'll be the easiest game in the world. But if you miscalculate that one thing, like if you're slightly too little max health and you can't parry or block properly, then you get staggered. Completely changes a fight that would have gone in your favor to completely being messed up.
I'm sorry, but I can't talk any longer. I do wish to help any way I can, but the patients need me, especially in Rosalind's absence. Good luck in your search for the affliction's cause, and alert me if you start feeling strange.
Armin asked me to look into the cause, actually.
Interesting. Well, he's a good man. If he thinks you can help, then you can stay. But if you start hearing voices or seeing strange things, tell me straight away.
It really
A shame
feels...
that Menda Rosalind's not here to speak with you. We truly need her.
I do wonder, actually, do you think that Ager and Dager are as well researched here as they are in the Third Era? I wonder if the afflictions of Hermea Zamora might actually be not well known in the Second Era. I genuinely, I'm leaning so heavily on this being tied to Hermea Zamora. And the weird thing is, Hermea Zamora calls a lot of the afflictions blessings. It is knowledge that drives people insane, almost, but in Hermea Zamora's eyes, knowledge is its own virtue, and the insanity is simply how it's achieved, I guess. I don't actually know a lot of references throughout the lore of Hermea Zamora afflicting people. I think the probably the most prominent one I know of is actually in Skyrim, but I've not played through that part myself. Where's Menda Rosalind?
I'm afraid not, and that worries me. You see, Rosalind isn't one to abandon her duties, and some patients have vanished as well. Just gone from their beds when we check on them. I shouldn't talk about this. People are upset already.
Maybe it is. I'm not sure if it is Daedra's work, but being whisked away definitely gives me Daedra vibes. I don't know what else would really have the power to whisk people outside the plane of Nirn. Hang on. Here's a decent question I'm actually not privy to the answer to. Are Planes of Oblivion included in the scope of Mundus? I know Planes of Oblivion are separate to Nirn, Nirn being basically Earth, the planet, the realm. Planes of Oblivion and all of the Daedra that control them are outside of Nirn, but are they still part of Mundus? Oh, this is free. Oh, thank you. I also never... I don't think I've ever seen an Elder Scrolls game that had a swimming pool. You know how weird this is to me? Is it weird in general, or am I being weird? Is this weird? There's a swimming pool. Is this weird? There's a swimming pool. My lizard doesn't swim, he walks on the bottom. Even all of the castles. I do understand Cyrodiil is a bit of a... I don't know if it's still something I'd call a tropical paradise, but it's definitely paradise of sorts. But it's weird that the first swimming pool I've seen is in Elder Scrolls Online in the Second Era. You think it would just be a normal thing that you find. The rich and the wealthy and the nobles would have stuff like this, but... bizarre.
Such a calming vista, yes. The sound of waves lapping at the shore always used to bring Milagi peace. But now, Milagi feels like he may jump out of his fur. Fear ripples through Milagi as if he faces battle again.
I do apologize, but I think I need to turn HUD on before I talk to you.
Such a calming vista, yes. The sound of waves lapping at the shore always used to bring Milagi peace. But now, Milagi feels like he may jump out of his fur. Fear ripples through Milagi as if he faces battle again.
Saw someone try to block a troll with a crude bow. Or is it watching random streamers? I suppose, in his defense, blocking with a crude bow is better than not blocking. But also dodge rolling is better than not blocking, and blocking with a crude bow. And in that sentiment, dodge rolling, honestly, Valheim's one of those weird games where technically dodge rolling breaks every mob and makes every mob useless, except for poison. Anything that does AoE poison or AoE fire, I suppose, still hits for the AoE dot. Yagluth is a good example. His hand that does the AoE explosion fire nova, you can dodge roll the initial explosion, but you can't dodge roll the fire on the ground. Same with the blobs, you can't dodge roll the AoE poison. But, I mean, you could technically, and I suppose maybe that's the strat. For Naked Run, if you dodge roll everything in a Naked Run and rely on bows to keep distance from bosses like Bone Mass and Yagluth, yeah, don't get hit. It's really, you could beat the game without ever taking a hit or ever needing to block anything. But it's so weird to think that just one mechanic can break the entire game of Valheim beyond repair. And that's a fundamental mechanical problem too. I don't think dodge rolling, unless tweaked to be more of a, you know, maybe it's less easy to nail the iframes or the, you know, to get a perfect dodge and not take damage. Maybe they introduce something else in that regard. Valheim's a weird game to figure out difficulty-wise. If you're under-geared, you get killed immediately. If you're over-geared, it's the easiest game in the world. But if you know how to dodge roll, it doesn't matter what gear you have. Trio problems that I always find fascinating. Usually have people say that bosses are too easy now. Bosses were better when they were hard. But yeah, it's such a weird game to get my finger on a difficulty sense of things. As we have streamers here, who would be interested if I did a stream on the Mix It Up software? Explain how that works to replace stream elements for instant. I would be very curious to see Mix It Up functioning, especially with how well you've integrated into the stream, Jonathan. I think seeing what you've done specifically would be a treat, because you work so much into that software to get it how it is on your stream. It's actually brilliant seeing the end result. Seeing it behind the scenes, I'd be up for it. I don't know if there's any other streamers here who would be prospective users of Mix It Up. I think, unfortunately, I am limited by my hardware. And also, kind of a little selfishly, I do like the fact Stream Elements gives me a custom bot name. But I don't know. Maybe Mix It Up does the same thing and I could replace Stream Elements wholeheartedly. I will admit, Stream Elements activity feed does annoy me. It never drops old notifications off, and it always uses 10% CPU. And I understand why it's running a local host server, but I only have so many things I can have taking up 10% CPU before the stream just doesn't work anymore. I'd definitely be interested in seeing the behind-the-scenes stuff of the program. This is why you always look for first playthrough when you raid out to see some amazing things. Lightning hits too while dodging? Is that from Ikathir? Or is that Yagluth's lightning? Dodge roll 95% of the time. The other 5% of dodge rolls I jump into the face of danger instead. I wonder if Tuna still has the clip, but I still remember his third Rogue Run character, I think it was. He had a troll come at him, and I don't think he realized it was a 1-star. He was in troll armor, and he started talking all big. He killed a 0-star troll before. He had a right to think he was good. I think he just got a shield upgrade or an Abyssal Razor or something. And he got so cocky and picked a fight with a 1-star, and it went immediately downhill. He tried to block and got hit for 70% of his health, and then had a massive leap of faith off of a tower before realizing just as he hit the ground that he didn't have enough health to survive the fall. Quite a spectacle, but again, it goes to show you can be equipped for a certain level of mob, and the moment you don't, those armor points, it's like a switch. The moment you have enough, you're gold. You don't get damaged anymore. A good example is Ikathir. Ikathir doesn't do damage if you have 3+ armor. I mean, they does do damage, right? But not enough to really matter. If you have 3 food, anywhere near 100 health, or even say like 70, 60 health, and 3 points of armor, which is your baseline rag clothing, Ikathir is a super easy fight. You can basically ignore all of his damage because it's less than 10 per hit. If you have deer armor, you straight up can just ignore his damage. You don't have to block it, you don't have to roll. He does up to like 2 damage, I think, with a full set of deer armor. The only thing you have to watch out for is your stamina. And that is just how the game goes. It's so little once you get over the threshold of armor points, makes certain mobs in the game do nothing. But then you go to the next biome, or you get a 1-star version of that mob, and all of a sudden you're being staggered every time you block. You're being chunked for 30 hit points every time you actually take a hit. Valheim has a really good way of making you go from, exactly as Tuna Pickle's example is, go from being super overconfident and in your zone to having your ass kicked because you pick the wrong fight. Pierce damage is, I think, one of the most brutal damage stats in the game, because pierce damage bypasses armor. So you can get death skeetos that, unless you have resistant to pierce in your armor point somewhere, they'll deal stupid amounts of damage through even late game gear. Valheim is great till it isn't, is probably actually a pretty great tagline. Like to parry, but patting the dodge rolls and knifing stuff are like 95% of the fun you have with the game. Even naked. If you have meat, honey, he has to hit you over 10 times to kill you. Oh. Someone called in the tutorial boss, which I think fits perfect. You definitely use the tutorial boss. And it's fascinating. When you first start playing, it's way more of a spectacle than it is a threat. You're just so... like, you're in that mood, that mode, where it's like, oh, a boss fight. It's a boss fight. It's a serious thing. You have to actually play it seriously. When you actually start getting used to Valheim and the numbers game that so heavily structures the way the difficulty in the game is paced, then you realize that Ikathir is just kind of a null factor. He's there more or less to teach you about taking items to spawn stones and spawning in bosses, I guess. I think there is a way to make the Ikathir fight actually a challenge, and I think it would be barehanded with no armor. Then you might die a couple of times, but as soon as you get a weapon, any knife, any armor points above 3 or set, Ikathir is beaten purely in the numbers game. Last night, restarted the perma run. I was like, oh yeah, we're close. Let's kill Ikathir on the way home. He kicked your ass multiple times first time. Didn't know how food works. I went and, oh yeah. Yeah. But I still stand by the statement that Valheim is a numbers game. If you don't have the numbers, either in armor, health value, stamina, or in damage, I guess, then yeah, but it's at its core a numbers game. It's just scaled really weirdly, where the moment you get enough armor and defensive points, you almost negate what other mobs can do. That's the thing I think that's so interesting. Armor is overpowered until it isn't, because damage is, it's like that switch. If you don't have enough armor, you take tons of damage. If you do have enough armor, you take none. You can block it all. And then again, you have the health points, which even let you block more damage too, no matter what shield you have. High health, high armor, not being done. That's a key point there. I remember when Suki was doing... Oh, Suk might still be doing permadeath runs, actually. Been a while since I've seen her online. But I remember when she started out, one of the first things I said, and purely out of experience, mind you, panic kills. All you have to do, and this was such a mentality I took into my permadeath runs. I took a shield, I took a weapon, and I took my armor. And my armor was not what I had equipped. My armor I counted as the number. Didn't matter what I had equipped, number. I knew if I had 20 armor points, certain shield, I could block a troll. In this case, I think it was a bone tower shield and 23 or 24 points of armor. And I forget what level health you have, but normally more health the better. But I think you needed like 70 points of health and you could block a troll. Only once, but you could. Because your stagger bar went really high, but it didn't stagger you. So it was math like that I tried taking into account. I tried to learn the numbers game so I had complete knowledge of that not being done part. The panic of not knowing how to deal with a fight is the thing that gets you. Super early on, I took weapons with really fast attack speeds because I wanted to count how many attacks I could get in on a knife or a spear before they got their next attack in. The ghosts were super important in this too, because you get one is safe, but you can push for 2 spear attacks with a ghost before he gets his next swing in. And stuff like that too. Your window of opportunity, the amount of damage you can block, having the timing and the spacing in your combat to actually avoid as much damage as possible too, all goes into that just mental preparedness of not panicking, not running into a room and seeing a ghost and then jumping backwards and doing a 360 out of your way back out the door and having no stamina and getting cornered and then not knowing what to do and screaming the whole time. I don't remember if I did that on my first run. I'd like to think I didn't, but Look, completed a run, actually. It's come a long way from when I first started watching her and the panic that was setting in. One of the things I genuinely tried saying, you know, I've been there, learning the numbers and knowing your limits and when to get out. It's honestly a bunch of those skills I pulled back from MOBA days because your health is a resource. Your stamina is a resource, your health is a resource, and all you need to do is know how much damage you can take before you have to get out, know how much you can block, and you need to know the rules of the game. Not in the sense of like, you know, not literally know the rules of the game. I mean like, know what game you're playing, set your own rules. If you can't block something, don't go in. You know, knowing what you're getting into is how you avoid panicking, because once you get in over your head, that's when you have to either get out or not panic. And hey, Decor, sorry I didn't get back to reading the message in time. I'm doing pretty well. We've been AFK for half hour just chatting. It's really awkward because it's such a... Questing is very dialogue filled, and while I do want to keep playing the game while I chit-chat myself, it's a bit awkward having to juggle between what is effectively a conversation in-game and a conversation in people. Never figured out ghosts, just tend to tap, 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 block, or just shoot them with fire arrows. Malagi is very patient. He very much is, actually. It's been the entire night passed over, and it's actually morning now. He's been very patient. On that note, shall we actually... He's been shuffling a lot. I feel like he does... He wants to leave, but... Is your fear an effect of the afflictions... Is your fear an effect of the affliction spreading among the manor's patients? Seems like particular wording. Is he afflicted, or is he worried about a certain effect of the affliction reaching him?
This one believes so. Milagi was beginning to feel strong. He planned to return to his family in Riemann. Then at dinner one evening, Milagi could not catch his breath. His heart pounded, his vision darkened. Only Mender Roslin could calm him.
He is afflicted. What did she do?
Mender Roslin is a master of alchemical remedies. She mixed a powder into Milagi's tea that calmed the storm. Yesterday, Roslin told this one she might have a cure for his sickness, a new potion that looked promising. But she has disappeared.
Do you think... I've said time and time again, and I do stand by it, I think the affliction could be Daedric. What are the chances, though, that the affliction isn't Daedric in the slightest and is just someone trying to sabotage, politically motivated sabotage of the neutrality of this place? I see the channel redemption make the stream go wonky and weird for up to 1 minute. How is this different from usual? I mean, I hope the stream doesn't look wonky and weird, and I suppose that's the promise, is it'll look wonky and weird. Who's over there? Stairs? It's such a weird thing that redeem started... It wasn't even a redeem originally. Me and Gradgar were talking about bit rates and compression of video files and audio files. And how... You're a cat. I thought that was a chihuahua. Me and Gradgar were talking about compression rate. And the reason that Twitch has better compression, better video quality, better video clarity, it seems to run better and it has better encoding. But then you have to understand YouTube doesn't delete stuff after 6 months.
But we might find something in there we can use.
You've made your thoughts clear. No one enters the dispensary.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't listening. I mean... Not that the whole manor couldn't hear. Continue. YouTube really sometimes sucks. When it comes to YouTube quality, there's a couple of things you can do and a few settings you can use that do help it out. And you can basically force YouTube to use good quality encoders, the VP9 encoder, if it's over 1080p. I don't know if it has to be 1440p. But I know somewhere between 1080p and 1440p, YouTube will actually force the use of the VP9 video codec, which gives you really high quality video. It's also really, really efficient. I don't know why they don't just use it. I mean, I do know why, because the end result is that MP4 is just better for file size. It still, I think, wins in the file size argument. And when YouTube keeps videos permanently forever and has probably petabytes uploaded daily, they need bottom of the barrel for everyone that isn't uploading top tier high quality content. Twitch, on the other hand, even partners only have content last for up to 12 months, I think. Then you have highlights and clips that for everyone last 6 months, and for affiliates and regular streamers, your contents have gone after 2 weeks. Because they don't have to deal with massive storage capacity, they can use higher quality codecs. And, well, that whole conversation led to this effect. I was originally going to try and get it to have a blur, like an actual MP4 look about it was what I was going for, but the best I could do was just absolutely kill the resolution down to like 400 pixels. I think it still works out. I mean, and as a joke, it's fine, even without context. By the way, what are we... Am I not talking to you? I had a marker to come here. Oh, it's this guy I'm talking. Scott here, so it looks like Daggerfall. Yes, oh, I should go to Vardenfell. We should load up my Vardenfell character and just play like this. I'll get rid of the scuffed text. And then we'll just play like this and go to Vardenfell. Just tell people it's Morrowind. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Maybe you heard. My talk with Master Healer Viralane was unproductive. He always sticks to procedure. No sense of urgency with that one. Well, how did you fare? Learn anything from the patients?
I kinda wanna turn off. Scuffed is tied to the hotkey that turns on the, like, if I press the hotkey to disable the filter, Scuffed will turn back on. I kinda wanna just have that permanently just... I'll turn it off then. Sometimes I like to not have the scuffed text. I think that's a little too on the nose. It's a bit over the top. Filter itself is foul enough as it is, without scuffed. As a quick on-off thing, as a quick joke for an intro, I've kept it there. Valheim graphics? Honestly, there have been a lot of games that have come out in the past couple of years that have used low resolution to an absolute beautiful effect. Nightmare Reaper is one I can think of that goes for a very Doom, Quake style video look, but absolutely gorgeous lighting. Because that's the thing, at the end of the day, that I think carries a lot of games. Look at Dark Souls 1. All these years later. That game was Xbox 360 DVD. I think it was DVD. But point still remains. Dark Souls 1 ran on the Xbox 360 in the first place and looked as gorgeous as it did and still does today. Not because of the textures, because every time you get to a well-lit room, you can see the textures aren't amazing. It's because of the lighting and the atmosphere. Carries that game's visual style. And I think that is the key to making a game stand the test of time. You don't need amazing textures, super crisp resolutions. Good lighting will take you 90% of the way. I do think graphics mean something, though. I think, because there's a group of people that definitely focus on graphic fidelity. There's a bunch of people out there that will say, oh, looks like a 2013 game, looks like a PS3 game. And I just sit there and go, yeah, but the PS1 is, like, great visually. I go back, I've actually played a bunch, well, we're playing through Crash Bandicoot Remastered, but it's made me want to go back and boot the old ROM games back up. I think I've got Crash Team Racing on disc, and I really want to get them running in an emulator. Because they do, they stand up. There's nothing wrong with games that are just because they have less pixels or lower resolution textures. Honestly, there's some charm to that. Especially in the way the PS1 handled those weird fluctuating character models that console had is always going to be a very specific thing people try to emulate. You see it all the time with PS1 style horror games. But going back and seeing Crash Team Racing videos that I've got on the computer and playing the game, just watching Polar Bear's head morph entirely as he gets closer and further away from the camera. He goes from being a like 2 pixel square to like having a little bit of a shape on his nose, like a triangle, and then he gets close and you can see ears. But the whole time it's like an amalgamation of pixels that can't figure out what it wants to be, and that it really does have a vibe to it that can't be accounted for just in the texture quality. That is a completely different topic, isn't it? But nostalgia aside, I do think graphics have to count for something, because my argument would be less that it's graphic fidelity. I don't need a million pixels in a texture. What I need is art style, art direction. I need something to look like someone cared about what they were making, as opposed to something looking real. If it looks real, you could just use a photo, right? You don't need to hire an artist. You hire an artist because you want something to have a style to it. And I think that is important. Look at Mario 64. Look at Crash Bandicoot. Look at Croc. Even Sonic. The original 2D Sonics have such a unique style that I don't think anyone else had at the time. With the checkerboard textures and everything. Honestly, I wonder if the checkerboard textures were blown up super small texture pack. Did someone say Croc? Maybe. I actually don't have the Croc soundtrack, and I should get that into OBS. Where was I? Everyone mentioned Mender Rosalind. Apparently she's gone missing.
Everyone respects Mender Rosalind. She's got a rare combination of kindness and skill. And between you and me, she plays a strong game of cards. Now that I think about it, I haven't seen her in a while. Where could she be?
Are you telling me you literally haven't... This guy's meant to be overlooking this entire manor and he hasn't noticed that one of the key healers has gone missing? Have you even noticed that the patients have gone missing as well?
Strange that this affliction shows up at the same time people start disappearing. I don't believe in coincidences. Why didn't Vera Lane tell me about this? Sure, I'm not a member of the society, but still. Anything else?
I don't know what cursed humors mean, but someone mentioned that, and she had been researching a cure according to Legacy. KHAJIIT, by the pool. Said cure.
Then we need to get into the dispensary. That's where Rosalind worked. Vera Lane has a key, and so does Mender Aldvar. Get the dispensary key from one of them, and go take a look around. I'll keep watch while you're inside.
Okay. Wazoo! Splat! Pow! There's a marker here. Do I need to get... There's a marker there.
Oh, she must have taken ill after dinner last night. Is that a note by the bed?
What? Yes, well, this is a completely different mission. What the fuck? Okay. Female High Elf, age unknown, Tenelian, an Outmarried Dominion diplomat, condition. Intoxicated, incidental poisoning. This foolish woman was encouraged to drink a great deal of rot meth last night, despite never having tried it before. She will likely be miserably ill for days. If her condition worsens, crush a mammoth ear loaf and dab a few drops of the juice on her lips. I saw several plants on the ground, but I am told they are not to be cut without Lord Bacara's permission. The juice is a purgative and will bring up the rot meth, along with everything else.
Look for a mammoth ear plant in the woods near the manor. We need to wake her up.
No wonder you were so much trouble. You have no sense of place and time, do you, Amber? My little lizard's having a nap. Alright. Today you learn Croc is abandonware? Why is that a crying face next to it, though? Croc's abandonware. You just get to download it now. Why is there a crying face, Flicky? You can just you can legally download Croc. It's abandonware. Thumbs up. Positive. Good thing. Could you imagine if Eidos Interactive bought Croc and was slowly and methodically releasing Croc mini phone games every 4 years so that we couldn't claim it as abandonware? Wouldn't that be sad? If Activision Blizzard King released a remaster of Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3 so that you can no longer claim it's abandonware? The scuff thingy button all over again. Abandonware software's great. It's basically the illegal equivalent of I'm allowed to steal this now. Because no one's selling it, and it's basically public domain at that point. If no one wishes to monetize a product or piece of software that's been inactive and inert financially, I believe, for 15 years, then it's freebie. It's gibbies. Alright. I meant to talk with you now, apparently.
Good day, stranger. Did I just see you speaking with my friend Armin? He's one of our most noteworthy successors at Steadfast Manor, or so I believe. How can I help you?
They already done Croc mobile phones all the way back in the early days of Java-based mobile applications, I know. I do think they had one smartphone release of Croc back in like 2012. But could be a little later. I know Croc mobile games were super early though, onto the. They were like at the same time as Temple Run and everything, weren't they? Can you stream Abandonware? Absolutely. What, like a dead publisher that's gone out of business 10 years ago is going to claim the video? The only thing I will say, to stream on an emulator, if you don't need an emulator, go for it. But in the case of Croc, where at least I know it released on a lot of major consoles, and I don't know if it ever had a PC release, you need to, this is the legal thing, your emulator has to be your own console. You cannot download someone else's console BIOS for your emulator. If you have a PS3, you need to basically export your PS3 console's BIOS to use as your emulator's BIOS software. That's the perfectly legal way to do it. Quietly, I think most people just say yes. You have that. In my case, I'm actually blessed that my grandparents kept my PS1. If I had an Elgato, and I suppose a couple of adapters to get the thing working, I could genuinely go get my old PS1 and play a bunch of games on that thing, fresh out the box. I don't know how well the box would run anymore, but that PlayStation 1 does still live out on that old stone building they've got. I don't know where the PlayStation 2 ended up in the family, but my grandparents kept a lot of the old stuff we had console-wise. What the hell is that on his chin? I believe that might be... should we call that a goatee? Even a hipster would... Is that like a hipster's goatee? Now that goatees are kind of recognized as okay looking again, do you think hipsters need to step it up a bit? That is an atrocious beard though. Can't read what he's saying. He has the same beard as that guy from System of a Down. Oh my lord, he does. I hate that. I can't unsee that now. Croc PC version. Was there actually a Croc PC version? Oh, I have to look that up. Because yeah, as far as I'm aware, Croc is abandonware, and abandonware is free legal grounds to maybe possibly end you own it at least. And he stuck his chin in melted chalk. Because I played the... Actually, I wonder if I need to go get all my old PS1 games out the cupboard and just keep track of what I have. Because I have so many... I have one that I regret letting go, which is Spider the video game. Not to be confused with Spider-Man the video game. Spider the video game. I actually have the soundtrack here for the game. But honestly, it was one of my favorite platformers from back in the day. I suck at some of the jumps now. There's one where you keep sliding down this chute and you have to time your jumps properly. And there's one that's just impossible. I can't do it. For the life of me, 10, 20 years later, I cannot make that jump I made as a little tiny young board. But I got rid of the disc, and then found out later that Spider the video game was actually a super limited release and bombed in sales. So, company went under and publication never continued, and I think, what was it, something like 50,000 units ever got made, which makes it super rare and super unknown these days. Very sad. But it's abandonware, so I can find another
Terrible
copy
shame.
somewhere.
Rosalind was one of our best healers, incredibly talented. Her loss has really made things hard around here. But we're doing the best we can. What can I do to help?
Honestly, blessing and a curse, abandonware, because, yeah, it's been abandoned. It's just going to disappear into the archives of software. But at the same time, with complete, absolute ambiguity on any legal ownership of franchises and titles at that point, I mean, if anyone owns Spider the video game, I don't think they'd know they own the IP anyway. And in that sense, I guess that's where, technically, if there is a rights holder to the IP, I suppose you could get in trouble. In the case of Crash Bandicoot, you now have Activision Blizzard King who own it. In the case of Square Enix and Eidos, well, not Square Enix anymore, but Tomb Raider's been rebooted, and I suppose that means the franchise isn't dead IP, but I don't know when it comes to ambiguity on the earlier titles, whether or not they're still in the grey area. I'm lucky enough I kept a lot of these discs too, because I can just plug them into the computer and off I go. I don't know if it was the same one, but you had Spider-Man 1 and 2 on the Xbox. Many hours spent on those. I never played Spider-Man games. It was always... I heard people always joke about some of the terrible QuickTime events in those things. Never played them myself. That was back when comic book games and comic book movies were still really weird. They weren't super pop culture-y back then. Marketable, yes, but they were not the pop culture zeitgeist that they are now. What can you do to help? I think one of the menders was working on a potion and he'd like to look around the dispensary. You'd like to? Am I talking in second person?
I'm afraid that's out of the question. I'm sure you have good intentions, but our dispensary is full of sensitive, even dangerous materials. It's imperative nothing there be disturbed. Lives depend on it.
I have an alchemy of... Apparently I have an alchemy of 8, and that's enough. Wow. I know a bit of alchemy myself. I'm somewhat of an alchemist myself.
Oh, well, if you find yourself in need of work, we'd be delighted to offer you a position in the future. We can always use a skilled alchemist. Here's the key to the dispensary. Please be careful in there.
I mean, you're not even going to put me onto contract? Hire me? I mean, hire me, fire me, so I'm at least on your books as a... You're just going to give me the key? How is this right now any different to him just giving me the key before I said I have an alchemy level of 8, which, may I remind, is super abysmally low? Thank In old Rye Gada days, when 4 bears came ashore, among them were sword singers, according to the law. At 4 were Yakub's 13, Noble and Seol. One there named Navid. This song is of his fall. Navid loved Said. Navid loved Said. Said loved him not. Her heart was pledged to Thulkub, the 13th's finest shot. As Thulkub plied his bow and practiced on the beach, Navid approached with empty hands until he was in reach. While Ilthuk faced the target, Navid could up his shahai, slew his love's love with sacred sword, and watched his rival die. Back to Yakub's beachhead, went into his tent, fell for shame on his own sword. Dishonor thus was spent. Whipping around the city that made them so much fun.
Oh, drink, and abstain. Oh, drink, water and milk. Else your bones will be weak. Like in Skyrim. Oh, water is health is fuck, bitch. You better drink. Water, drink. Water, drink. Water, drink. Water, bitch. Oh, drink. Water, drink. Water, drink. Water, bitch. Oh, drink. Water, drink. Water, drink. Water, bitch. Oh, drink. Water, drink. Water, drink. Water, bitch.
What do we have? Mammothia leaf, and over there is find the missing retainers below. Search the dispensary below. Well, that was a...
I suppose I could use another break.
The groom. I thought he was armed with some lever-action rifle. Good lord. Shiny bit next to the hand threw me off, but it was his highlight up on the broom. Alright. Off we go. Stinkhorn. I still really want to know why stinkhorn is growing naturally in the Colobian Highlands. I am 90% sure High Rock is the Colobian Highlands. But I'm also less and less sure of it every time I say it, by virtue of the fact I have said it. Curse of being a board with no brain. There's another one over there that's closer. Why did you mark this one? Good game. Well, let's find the missing retainers while we're out here. The vast hammer and saw. Is this directly south of the manor? I can't tell if this is a faction building, but it seems like a faction building. It's like a faction crafting area. What's this? There's nothing. And there was a hydrate too. That's actually... yeah, because it's got Orders Wrath in brackets. Which makes me confused if this is a... It's, same time. There's it's got like a bracket name, which makes me think it's a faction-based crafting. But it's all legal to steal from. An armor, which looks like a shoulder. Trunk. The Maple Inferno Star. Oh, they're teleporting. I thought the bug was humming at me menacingly. It's unsettling. A hydrate. I was going to do that while I was staring at the board. I live for the board song. I have another bench down here. It's a cooking station. Fish. Lump. I mean, there's no reason to craft for XP anymore. We got all the XP we could ever need from the Bog Iron Ale. Oh, I wonder if your missing retainers have anything to do with this. means.
Time to bring the lightning!
Oh, Jesus.
I hope I helped.
Oh yeah, Grenier's note. Whoever finds this ambush. Knights in our marked livery, no house emblems. Were waiting for us. Tried to fight, but there were too many. Weird how we had the time to write this down. Denise got away. She ran south. 2 of those murderers chased after. The rest looted our bag. Stand. Lord Baccara was sure the road to Castle Navia was safe. Can't hang on much longer. Tell my indecipherable scroll. Indecipherable. Drink. Drink. Empty apple basket. Cloth. Simply on. Follow the tracks.
Sometimes a little lie saves a ton of explanation.
Quest marker gives it away. These are the tracks. And Valley. It's 6 in the morning here, actually. I know Valley said they were going to be online in 3 hours' time, but I didn't check Discord in a little while. Oh, it's not disconcerting in the slightest. It's just a bear on my way to track down a missing person. I think we should stop and ask the bear for question. Isn't there canonically a spell in... I don't know if it was... Oh my lord. You look freaky. Why does its legs look so long? A skinny bear. Not a bear. It says bear. Yeah, bear. Long leg Jimmy Bob. I'll take it. Brigand's crown. I like how these things act completely inert until you get close. I've seen people chopping Spriggans with an axe, and they don't react unless you're the one that approaches them. I really want to switch back to a destruction stave. But the restoration one is carrying me pretty well with the healers. I still haven't found any of those other scrying hints. I don't know what I'm meant to do to find them. Let's just grab. I checked one seashell and it said you found a hint. Collect all of them and you can scry. And gave me the tutorial and that was it.
Nothing good happens in here. I can tell.
That's a hell of a skeleton. Also, cargo here? And wait, who are you? You have a quest marker. Do I have a free quest slot? There's actually quite a lot.
I shouldn't just walk into someone's home, even if they were rude.
Correct. You shouldn't. Quest complete. Off we go. I can't believe Valley got you to play legal. Ew. I really want to try Dota out. I do miss actually playing a strategy MOBA. You dead? I think it's dead. What? Leaf jelly? Where the hell are we? Am I forgetting the name of the floating jellies from Vardenfell? What is the name of the floating jellies from Vardenfell? I'm actually drawing a blank for some reason. Oh, I guess we're just having the way clear for us. It's nah. It's nah. It's a nah something. It's nah. Over nah. What did I say? You're gonna need me to repeat that? On which part? About Lee being garbage, or...? Sheep. The one downside of playing MOBAs, it's a race to kill everything, because otherwise you just walk through a pile of corpses and don't find what... Can we go this way? Can we go this way? Let's find out. Strategy MOBA? Did I mention Dota? Dota 2. Are they... Is Dota 1 still kicking around anywhere? Would be interesting actually to find a working version of Dota 1. thing's dead. That thing's not. Netch! Thank you! I knew it was Nef something. I've been wanting to get into Dota, but this was my curse, was that League for me was a social game, and back when it was strategy and not just Overwatch, it used to be really fun to coordinate and organize how a game was going to be structured. I mean, basically, the short version, without going too much into details, is that I would be the shot caller. I would watch the minimap, I would play support-based roles where I didn't have to be mechanically busy. Oh, hello, you're awake. And yeah, I would just watch the minimap, I would pay attention to what's happening in the game, I would know the strategies, the rotations, I would look for where the jungler was and how to counter the jungler best. Basically how to counter everyone. I really, really loved the strategy part of it. But then, at some point, between... Who was it? At some point between Long Leg Scissor Lady and Zoe being released, the game just became, if you pull your abilities on the table, you win the fight. Whoever has the pick comp wins because they get the pick and then they win the rest. I mean, even now, if you go watch League programs now, fights are decided by whoever gets the first pick. Because whoever dies first just is on the defensive and runs away. That's it. That's how fights are ordered now. You go for a pick, whoever gets it first wins. I'm even watching, the other day I was watching a video of, I Will Dominate. I was watching some of the Korean scene, I think, and that was the least pick-based I think I've ever seen League in a long time. They actually had front-to-back fights in one of them, but whoever died first, that was it. I mean, you could have a team that had the advantage, and if they died first, they'd lose the fight. It's still so pick-orientated, even if the teams aren't fighting pick comps. Once upon a time, you could play Lucian, be 2 levels up on the rest of the team, and you could 1v5. Now, they just need one person to... And that's it. They win. I mean, you're 1v1. If they have the more burst damage, that's it. You're done. Leagues just press Q to win. It's Overwatch now. Strategizing means shit if they have a Zoe, because they just blow up your carry. Viger used to have to scale for 40 minutes to do what Zoe can do with 2 items in 10. But again, I digress. League used to be good. I want to go back to the good old days of actually having strategy, metagame. But I don't know any people, and playing with randoms is about as appealing as League. Darren is already chilling in DRG. Oh, I think he's able to join Discord. I left myself in a chat Tone was able to reach, because I thought he'd be the only one that'd be on early. like if I had people playing Dota, I'd get into it and it would be fun, but I don't, and therefore I haven't. I do know a couple of people that do play Smite though, and I'll admit, I've seen a lot of people play Smite where they run under tower and die just to deal a little bit of damage. I saw so many people do this, I didn't actually know if that was actually the meta. Because it didn't seem relevant to who won or lost. People could dive under tower for damage, kill themselves, respawn, and then it still seemed like a coin flip on who won or lost. Long story short, I watched some people that were actually good at the game. Knew what they were doing, shall we say. I watched some people who knew what they were doing. And it's night and day difference. They can use abilities, get out when they need to, temper themselves, pace themselves. They don't just press all 3 buttons and then sit still doing nothing behind a tower. It was night and day difference. It really was bizarre. So yeah, Smite seems like it might be up. I've heard mixed things about the company running it though. Could we switch over to Deep Rock? I've been sort of waiting for the all clear. I'm sitting here until we're ready to go. So if we're ready to go, let me know. I don't know if Tone is able to join. I know he's able to join that I'm in at the moment, but we'll figure out. I'll see you there in a little while. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll sit here. 10 hours and 44 minutes. 6 crown lesson riding capacity. Riding capacity? What is riding capacity? You're on dance floor? I'll drop down in a second then, or I'll drag you guys up. But until then, I'm going to take a really quick break and head to the bathroom. Maybe grab myself a cup of tea. And I'll switch over to Deep Rock in a minute. We didn't really do a whole lot of quests. At the very least, I want to say, besides my conversations that went on a massive tangent, I think we did pretty well. We did the crafting up front, and then we actually genuinely stopped the questing today. Normally it's the other way around, where I go quest and then after the first mission I get distracted and do everything else, but so far it's been okay. We're up to level 11, look at us go. Is it on the bed? Oh. I'll be back in a sec. Restroom break. Boil the kettle, and then I'll get categories and everything updated as well. I'll be back in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
During the nesting season, the parents are busy providing food. A brood usually consists of 3 or 4 young. Feathers appear as it grows older, but the brightly colored feathers do not appear until the 2nd year. The parent birds often bring rabbits or squirrels to the nest. But when food is scarce, they may attack other birds. A case of hawk eat hawk. These young red tails are nearly full grown, and they are learning to fly.